All right, good morning.
Questions?
Give us injury update, or are you not going to do that?
We're going to wait another day. We got the, sorry guys. But here you go. At some point this week, we'll start Dwayne's clock. There you go. See, gave you one. Gave you one.
Are you optimistic at all about Joe?
Tittman, we'll see. You guys know me. Of course, I'm optimistic, but we'll see. Today will be a big day just to see where he's at.
With Dwayne beginning the process of coming back, I know you've talked a lot about how his career has been entirely on that left side, and he didn't really want to screw it up. Makai's playing pretty decent on the left. Like, does Makai still have the ability to go left to right if need be?
I think so. Like, I think Makai will be good right, left, guard. I mean, he's that type of talent. Never know. No, but Makai's a freakish athlete, and I think as he continues to evolve his career, obviously you'd love for him to be a left tackle, but where we are at right now, we just got to make sure the best five are on the field somehow, some way to protect the quarterback and give him some time.
Well, last week, Robert, you had after the injuries in game, you had Billy at guard, Max at tackle. I think Max had worked at guard though during camp and maybe early in the season. Is it a possibility to flip those guys where Billy would be back in his natural position, or you like Max more in that tackle spot?
No, we like where everyone's at. We're trying to avoid making so many moves where the continuity is already lacking. And so you're just trying to make as few moves as possible to keep guys playing, doing what they do best, but nothing's off the table. Like I said, we've got to play our best five, but we're trying to do so in a way that's more of a minimalist mentality.
What are your options at center then for Monday night?
Well, Newman, I thought, did a really nice job. Stepped in and I mean, he battled his butt off. Thought the execution, I mean, it's a small thing, but it's an enormous thing. The execution at the end of the game to get the ball clocked was outstanding. But so there's a couple. Obviously, we brought Glazer back. He knows how to snap, and then we'll see where Tittman's at.
How frustrating is it? This, you go into the musical chairs that you did last year on the offensive line, and this year seems like it's very similar to that.
It's very frustrating because you want, everything starts up front. You want to get creative and you want to do different things, but the protection has to hold up, and a lot of times the protection, it comes from continuity and guys just knowing how to play off each other, how to pass off games, how to feel one another in their sets or in the run game, whatever it is. And we love the guys we have in our room. We do. It's just a matter of them just playing together and getting together and playing next to one another and communicating with one another. And if we can just get some continuity going, the group that we have is good enough.
You were very complimentary of Dwayne going through the season. He was very coming back about him being one of this team's best offensive linemen. I don't know if he struggled necessarily out there, did in this week too against Parsons. Do you still believe he's one of your five best?
Yeah, I do. He's for Dwayne, just coming off of the injury, and you guys can talk to him. He can probably give you a better picture of the things that happened. Was he 100% when we got him back? I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that for him. I think he wanted to be back so badly that I think maybe we compromised some of the rehab, but in terms of just the speed of it. And I think he's in great shape right now. I think he's in a great space mentally, and like I said, we'll get him going at some point. We'll get him going this week and see where he's at.
So that great shape that probably means that 21-day window. Like, you're confident this isn't going to be like a long recovery for him to get back.
Not at all, no.
Robert, were you disappointed you guys weren't able to get anything done yesterday on the deadline?
No. Joe, you trust Joe to turn over every stone, and he does. He's it takes two to tango. I know he said that, and I know he tried hard to find spots where we can improve our roster. There were some options for us, but at the end of the day, we felt like what we did was best for this organization and best for the team moving forward, and love the guys we have. And obviously you're always trying to improve, but if something's not out there that you think can improve the roster, then you just don't do it. So.
What's the time with Roger right now? Is he going to be eligible to be elevated this week, or does he have to go through a lot of stuff?
Say it again.
Saffold?
Oh, Saffold. We'll see where he's at. Having him here is awesome. Veteran, Pro Bowler. We'll see where he's at from a conditioning standpoint.
Robert, Cook and Lawson were obviously not happy with their roles last week, and then they don't get traded. So do you have to address that with those guys, moving forward, so that they don't become distractions?
No, not those two. Those two are tremendous professionals, and they're going to be. With the way the NFL seems to be working lately, guys, more and more guys, they're going to be needed by the year's end, and they're needed every game. Delvin still has a role on this football team. Carl is awesome on and off the field, and the amount of work he puts into it. But I'm not overly worried about them, and if you guys lead them into answering some questions. I know where their hearts are. They work their tails off. They're great teammates, and they expect more from themselves, and they expect opportunities, and they believe that they can perform at a high level, and you want that. So.
But when it comes to the offense, I know you continually stressed it's going to turn around. It's going to turn around. It's going to turn around. But with it transitioning now into week 9, I think it is. I mean, is there a point where you need to start looking at the process or just the way you guys are doing things to hurry up the turnaround?
Yeah, no, there's you're always trying to you're always trying to figure stuff out and try to figure out where we can help our guys be a little bit better and what situations can be better. You feel like it's close. There's and I could give you the laundry list of excuses. There's no excuses, obviously. We like the process. We like the way our players go about it. We like the process at which we communicate from a coaching staff. We like the way things look on the field. Excited about certain game plans and all that. And it's just a matter of putting our guys in the best position possible, executing, making the right calls. And like I said, there's situations even in that game with the Giants, as sloppy as it was, as bad as the weather was, where it felt like we're 1 or 2 plays away from making things happen, whether it was a drop pass or a missed call or whatever it may have been. But I know I keep saying it's close, but I'm like you and everybody else. Hopefully that close triggers sooner rather than later.
Take a couple more.
Robert, you guys had lost Sunday. There would have been a heavy focus on the penalties, especially the 2 personal fouls on the touchdown drive. Just curious how do you view those penalties? How do you view kind of overall 9 penalties in a game?
Yeah. So, you always want to try to figure out why. I know that, there's a penalty. Let's go nuts. I try to categorize. I think I've gotten up here and talked about it before. There's 3 types of penalties. You got your pre-snap penalties, which like Michael Clemens on the punt. Those are unacceptable because you've got control over that. I believe those are pre-snap focused penalties. They're more focused penalties. Then you get in-play penalties, aggressive penalties versus non-aggressive penalties. An aggressive penalty being one like Solomon Thomas, grinding to get off a double team, throws his hand out to make a tackle, and he inadvertently grabs a face mask. I'm okay with that. Quincy Williams freaking running full speed to the ball and has a violent tackle. That's an aggressive penalty. Things like that will happen. Our guys play really freaking hard, and so sometimes that's the residual effect of it. Then you got your non-aggressive penalties within those in-play penalties. You got non-aggressive ones in which you're lazy with your technique, you're lazy in your communication, and now you're reaching and grabbing because you're behind the play. Those are the ones you want to avoid. And then finally, the last one are your post-snap penalties, which is a discipline issue. That's understanding when enough is enough. And so the pre-snap and the post-snap ones are the ones that are, to me, are controllable, and those are the ones that you want to get out of the game. And so when we have those, that's where you see frustration from a coaching staff standpoint. It's like we have control over that. Like those are just dumb. But the in-snap penalties will happen, and sometimes the harder you play, the more aggressive it gets.
Robert, what are the challenges of this offense that you're going to be facing on Monday?
Shoot, man, they are loaded. Herbert's one of the better ones in football. Their O-line is playing really well. Allen is one of the better receivers in ball. Eckler is a fantastic back. Their tight ends are really good. So it's a talented group. They do a great job calling it. They possess the ball. They move the ball up and down the field. And Herbert, I mean, he keeps every play alive. He tough as nails. It looks like he's got a cast on his arm, and he's still running people over, and he's still making things happen, keeping plays alive. So defensively, we've got our hands full with this group. It's one of the better groups in football. It's been this way ever since Herbert's been that quarterback. And then defensively, tremendous against the run. They're starting. It feels like they've been getting better every single week, and they gave Kansas City a hard time. They looked really, really good against Chicago. They held down Vegas pretty good, and so they're getting better all the way across the board. Their two edge rushers, Bosa and Khalil, are two of the best in ball. Their linebackers are really good, and it's a good group, man. They're a very talented group.
Robert,
Last one.
with Aaron's comeback seeming, I guess, more realistic every day, every week, how do you handle the dynamic with Zach in terms of, you're asking him to get you to the important games and then sort of, ideally, I guess, hand the ball off to Aaron to finish the job. Do you address that with him at all? Or?
No, we're in the moment. It's I think it's admirable from Aaron's standpoint. And I think it demonstrates how much he loves and cares about his teammates in this locker room, and obviously for himself. Because it's very easy to cash in when you get especially when your money's guaranteed. I always look at it that way, And so for him to want to come back and keep clawing his way back when everybody in the world would understand that he doesn't have to. I think that's why we have such a genuine appreciation for him. As for Zach, it doesn't matter. You have an opportunity, you attack your opportunity, and make it so. The decision's already made. He makes the decision for everybody. That's always the mindset. It's the old Wally Pip. So.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thank you, guys.